night. I should have gone to bed, but I'm feeling alright. I'm thinking about us, girl, and I hate that we fight. Regretting what's been said and done. I guess I really need to tell you how I'm feeling.
I definitely understand why so many people get so overwhelmed with cleaning their kitchen, because this is what my kitchen looks like on a daily basis. Now, there may be some extra things. My sewing machine isn't usually on the counter, but every single day we have to go in and clean our kitchen. There's dishes to be done, counters to be wiped off, floors to be cleaned. There's just always something. But then on top of that, we have our deep cleaning projects. Now, not only is it a lot to do, but I feel like often we don't actually know how to clean those different areas. So in today's video, we are cleaning some of the dirtiest areas in my kitchen, one of them being the refrigerator. Now, the refrigerator always does surprise me because I clean it out fairly regularly. Pretty much whenever I'm doing a big restock, I do a quick wipe down of it. But a thorough deep cleaning, like take the refrigerator apart, that definitely doesn't happen as often as it probably should. So today is the day. I'm going through and we are going to completely take it apart and clean it. And I'm going to show you those before and afters because it is so satisfying to see how clean it gets. But I did want to start by taking out all the old leftovers. Don't worry, none of this food goes to waste. We feed all of this to our ducks, and this is their favorite time of the week because they get all the leftovers. They are little raptor, like, garbage disposals. They will take everything. And then I am running the dishwasher because I was also planning on deep cleaning the dishwasher. When's the last time you deep cleaned your dishwasher? I'm always shocked and amazed at how dirty it is, considering it's supposed to be one of the machines that cleans things. I know I'm not the only one that forgets to clean our cleaning machines. So I am also going to be working on that. As always, though, this is real life. So Athena will pop in here and there because she's just always around. And if she is up, she usually wants to be held or something. So I try and take breaks as I'm going, work on things at different times. So at that time, she needed some attention. And then I came back to working on the fridge. Just going to take everything out. I will say over the past year or so, I have downsized the amount of stuff I keep in my refrigerator. I don't like having my refrigerator stuffed to the gills, even after going grocery shopping, because I found that I was misplacing things. I was not using stuff up as much as I should be. So I have definitely cut down the amount of groceries I buy at a time. That way I can really go through and use what I have. But here's the before I took everything apart. And I wanted to show this because, as you can see, it's dirty, but it honestly isn't that bad. But wait till you actually see the befores once I took out all the pieces. I know this can be very intimidating to take it out. Like, am I going to remember how to put it back? Like, is something going to break? I will say I've never had anything break on me. Knock on wood. I hope not to ever have anything break. But from all the refrigerators I've had, it's not too bad to put it back together. And as you can see here, a lot of stuff slips through those cracks and gets all over. I am always surprised, like the hair and crumbs and just buildup that is all over this that you couldn't even see when I had just taken out the food and everything. I always like going in with my small vacuum first though. That way I can get up a lot of these loose crumbs and everything. It just makes it a lot easier before actually going in with the soap and scrubbing this down, because I feel like if I don't vacuum it out first, it ends up just like pushing everything around.
You got me so bad, you make it all slow down, not getting closer, you're killing me. You thought it's over, I'm waking alone now, not getting closer. I knew that it was seconds from you losing me, but I just couldn't give it up. And
Oh, and to clean it out, I'm just using my DIY Dawn Power Wash. I make this up as needed, and it works just as well as buying the actual refills of the Dawn Power Wash. I got my spritzer bottle off of Amazon. It's one of those like hair spritzers, so it's a fine mist. And I do about half and half water to rubbing alcohol, and then probably 3 or 4 tablespoons of Dawn dish soap. I don't know exactly. I eyeball all of it, but this worked really well just to get everything scrubbed out. And then I went in with a clean microfiber cloth. It was wet to rinse it and get everything off the sides and everything. I made sure to keep going back and forth to the sink. That way I could rinse this as needed and not just have all that soap and sudsy buildup. I will say the hardest part about this is you really have to move fast. So there was times where if Athena was getting antsy, I was like, okay, I need someone else to take care of her because I can't just leave this stuff on the counter for hours. I have to work quickly, and it can be exhausting. Like, doing it like this is a lot of work, but it is very satisfying once it is done. I did notice as I was cleaning this bottom that I probably could have taken out that one separator as well, but at that point I wasn't going to worry about it. And then I'm going in with the same steps when it comes to these different trays and everything as well, vacuuming them first before cleaning them out.
So done running around. I'm so done looking for love. Don't call me. So done running around. I'm so done looking for love so blindly.
If you wanna see some crazy and also lazy, then you should meet me and my friends. Even though we got no money, for sure it's all funny. Yeah, everything's better with them. We're just like ooh, ooh, ooh. We don't worry about tomorrow. We just ooh, ooh, ooh.
The other thing I was doing is as I was cleaning out the actual like containers that go back into the fridge, I was doing them one set at a time because my thought was I could clean them, put them back in the fridge, and kind of break up the organizing and decluttering of the stuff that goes in the fridge and start getting stuff back into the fridge. I did leave the milk in the fridge because I don't trust the milk sitting out for any amount of time, but that just made it a lot easier that I did that one section, and then anything that went in there went right back into the fridge. And then same again over here. These are the condiment containers. These aren't too bad, nothing too crazy, but going in, giving them a quick cleaning, and then refilling the fridge right away with all of the condiments, getting rid of anything that is expired. I also want to tell you, if you have condiments or sauces or something that you bought, you thought you would like, and they have just been sitting in your fridge because no one is using them, I want you to throw them out. I am really good at that, where I will buy something. I bought the Arby's sauce, and I'm like, ooh, we really enjoy Arby's. Let's get this, and it should be really good. I was making roast beef sandwiches, and it has just sat in our refrigerator. I don't know what it is about the one from the store compared to actual Arby's, but it is not the same. So I finally was like, nope, I'm just getting rid of it. I'm not going to have it take up space in our refrigerator when we are not using them. So I keep seeing this question going around social media, and I am curious because I feel like I am kind of the oddball when it comes to this question. A lot of people asking if they what like your budget is for your kids, which I don't know if is a fair question because I think everyone has a budget that works for them and their family. So if your budget is $1,000 a kid, that is great for you. If your budget is $100 a kid, that is great for you. But one of the questions I saw is, when it comes to buying gifts for your kids, do you try to keep it equal? Like number of gifts equal, monetarily equal? And the reason I think I'm a little bit different is I do to a point. So like I have a budget for the boys monetarily so that I try and keep equal. And big reason is a lot of the stuff they want is either more expensive or they just want cash and gift cards. But when it comes to the girls, I don't really have like a number amount. I do have a number amount I don't want to go over, but I focus more on the number of gifts because with them being younger, they don't really understand the value of $1, but they understand who opened more or less gifts. So I do it kind of both ways. I have a money budget for the boys that I try to keep equal, and then a gift like amount I try to keep equal for the girls. And it's changed throughout the years of how it's done. I used to try and do like $1 amount and a gift amount, but I have just found as the boys have gotten older and their needs and wants have changed that trying to keep the actual number of gifts equal isn't as important as it used to be. And they don't care if the little girls open more gifts because they understand that the little girls, what they're getting is usually not as expensive as what they are getting.
Queens and kings and everything. On you. Queens and kings and everything. I've been wandering in the dark with a cynical, faithless heart. I've been watching the kings and queens caught up in careless dreams. Oh, and you turned up. Somebody turned my luck. I'll give love to the world. I stay true to my word. We be queens and kings.
I will say this fridge took it out of me. There was so much to get done, but it felt so good once it was done. I was very, very happy with the way it turned out in the end. But with the kids being a little extra needy, I didn't get as much done on day one as I was hoping. It was mainly just the fridge. But you can see by these befores that it was not horrible, but definitely when you look at the afters, it's just a lot less stressful. It's more calming, and you can actually easily find everything I was looking for. But I do want to take a quick second and thank the sponsor of today's video. So I know it's no surprise how much I absolutely love Wayfair, so I'm super excited to be partnering up with them on today's video. If you missed Wayfair's Cyber Monday, you are in luck because from December 3rd through December 7th, Wayfair is rolling out with a massive Cyber Week deal where you can enjoy up to 70% off plus fast delivery. You're going to be able to shop your favorite household essentials across every room. So if you're looking to do a update in your kitchen, bedroom, bathroom, Wayfair has you covered. And with us inching into the new year and wanting a fresh start, even decor and storage is up to 70% off. Plus, you'll get fast and free shipping over $35. So you can shop now on Wayfair's Cyber Week page. So you can save more on seasonal decor, rugs, and furniture, and so much more. And their arrival window is so fast, you'll have everything in time for your holiday get-togethers. Head to wayfair.com to snag these Cyber Week deals from December 3rd through December 7th. So shop early and save your favorites so that you can transform your home for the holidays. And a big thank you to Wayfair for sponsoring today's video.
I stay true to my word. We be queens and kings of everything. I could gaze at the stars, take my rocket to Mars. We be queens and kings of everything. I bet my heart on you. Queens and kings of everything. You, on you. Queens and kings of everything. You.
So I actually only found out a couple months ago that I could completely tear apart my freezer as well. So the freezer's a lot easier to clean out than the actual refrigerator because it is just these two drawers. But man, it makes it so much easier when I take these out. And luckily, because obviously when it comes to the freezer, you really don't want stuff setting out. I didn't even know though that in the big container that obviously during the kids' birthdays, I had made 2 ice cream cakes. One of them had obviously overflown because this is chocolate syrup all caked onto the bottom. And it was not easy to get up. And I couldn't really get in here with the vacuum or anything because one, you got like the ice and everything. So you don't want to use the liquid into the vacuum, but also just all of this sticky nonsense. So I went in with paper towels first to pick up as much of the bigger chunks as possible. And then once again, my Dawn Power Wash and sprayed that down really well. I let it sit for like a minute or two, nothing too crazy, and then scrubbed my little heart out to get all of that off. It wasn't like hard, like I said, it was just sticky. So getting it like actually off of the little grates and crevices and everything was definitely being difficult for me. But I am glad I took this apart because like I said, I had no idea all of that was at the bottom. I also made sure that if there was any stuff like this stuck onto any of the food that was in the freezer, that I wiped those bags off as well. And yeah, so much better and then so much easier to do it this way. But it's nice because my freezer just always gets disorganized. So being able to take it all apart and then try and reorganize it so that it's easier to find everything always feels really, really good. My dream is one day to have one of those like side-by-side refrigerators where it's like a full-size refrigerator and full-size freezer. And it's not because I want to like buy a bunch more stuff and keep it in my fridge and freezer. It's purely because I feel like it'd be so much easier to organize and keep track of what you have compared to a big fridge. And then you always have this small freezer. And I personally I like keeping on hand, obviously quick, easy stuff for the kids. Pizza rolls, corn dogs, those are things my kids come home from school, can make real quick. It's a good, easy snack. But then also frozen vegetables. I would have so many more frozen vegetables on hand. I do like fresh vegetables, but I usually, when it comes to produce, try and buy little bits at a time more frequently. That way I don't end up having things go bad. Because I found when I used to do like a huge restock and try and make it last the entire week, I always had stuff going bad. The only stuff I can really do that with is fruit. But even then, I usually buy 1 or 2 types of fruit at a time because my kids go through phases of which fruit they're in the mood for. If it's bananas or apples or cuties, they will change it up. For some time, it'll be like grapes, and then they just one day won't touch the grapes again. So I try and not overbuy on anything. That way, like I said, just less food waste. I'm trying to be more smart with the way that we're shopping for food and everything nowadays and using the most of the space that we have. Because even though we may not have a super tiny kitchen, we also don't have a huge kitchen with a walk-in pantry or something like that. So trying to just make the most of the space that you have is so important. I remember when we had our very first house, it was tiny kitchen. We didn't even have a pantry, but we ended up turning the staircase that went into our basement. This is when we lived in Wisconsin. So yes, we still had a basement. And the wall, because their basement door was right off of our kitchen, the wall going down to the basement, we would literally keep all of our pantry staples there for extra storage because we just had a handful of cabinets and we just didn't have the space for any of those like basic pastas and canned goods that you want to keep on hand. But you can see it's the next day and I am working on the dishwasher. So first things first, taking it all apart, even the seal. But you can see how gross this gets. I really wanted to take that other rack out, but I could not figure it out. And I even had Bobby come over and look at it, and he couldn't figure it out. I tried to find videos on it. So if any of you know how to take that second rack out, please let me know, because it would have been nice to do that, but I could not figure it out. And then I am just going in with all my different scrubbing tools to get into any crack and crevice. This inside gap, though, between the door and the base of the dishwasher is always so gross. Like, the scum and slime that gets caught up in here, if you've never cleaned this, I prepare yourself to be disgusted. However, if your dishwasher stinks, there's a very, very good possibility that it is the seals of your dishwasher that need to be cleaned, and it'll make a massive difference when it comes to the scent coming from your dishwasher. Or if you're like, man, my dishwasher is just not cleaning well anymore, I'm going to need a new dishwasher, I highly recommend, before going out and spending a couple $1,000s on a new dishwasher, give it a thorough deep cleaning. You may need a new dishwasher, but it may just need to be cleaned really, really well, and you could notice a massive difference on how well it actually works.
Girlfriend, you got me smiling brighter each day. Stars are brighter, I feel lighter in every way. Girlfriend, there's no one like you when it comes to loving. Life is richer, lips are sweeter. Now listen, stay and let's figure out where to go, and how about family, new history. Here I go, dreaming. You got me going wilder than wild. Girlfriend, there's nothing that can stop us. Oh, you.
And then after I made sure all the cracks and crevices were clean, I went in with that same cleaning mixture, my Scrub Daddy, and I scrubbed the walls, the ground, everywhere, just to make sure that there was no buildup. Getting into those crevices again, because I know there's stuff always left behind, but this is not going to be your final step. I will say, though, after you're done doing this, I do like to go in and take a clean microfiber cloth and wipe this all down, just because I don't want a bubble disaster in my kitchen. I don't know if it would happen with just leaving the residue on the walls and the ground, but I'm never going to take that chance. I did, though, keep going back to that crack area and then wiping down all of the pieces. So the gaskets, that filter. Now, I clean my filter about once a week because it's just always getting dirty. But here, I'm just trying to do a little bit more of a thorough job. Take my time with it. You can see I just let it soak there for a while. And then getting into the arms, making sure there's nothing stuck in the little, spray holes. If there is, if you take just a toothpick or something to pick those out, just be very careful so that you don't ruin it. But usually I find as long as I put water in it, shake it around, any leftover food particles come right out of it. But after I wipe everything down, we are going to put it back together. I promise you, just like the just like the refrigerator and the freezer, this is not as scary as you may think. A lot of these things pop in and out pretty easily. And other than that one shelf that I couldn't get out, I learned how to take mine apart by looking up the model and finding a video on it. There's so many appliance repair guys that are on YouTube, and they will walk you through how to take your stuff apart. That way you can properly clean it. So that is how I ever found how to take my different appliances apart. If it's my stove, my dishwasher, my washer and dryer, any of those things, to do this maintenance cleaning. Now, when it comes to your dishwasher, you do want to do this cleaning a little bit more often. But let's be honest, a lot of us forget. And then to finish it off, I am taking about 1/4 of a cup of borax. Now, I've never used borax before, but I saw someone do this. They said it's so much better than just even baking soda, so I figured I'd give it a try. And then just a dish with some vinegar on the top, and I'm going to run it on my hottest setting. Each dishwasher can be a little bit different. For me, it's the pots and pans setting. That's going to be my hottest, like, heavy duty, but you may have a actually mine just says heavy. So each one's different. If it's going to say heavy, if it's going to say pots and pans, it may say like self-clean or something like that. Just make sure to do your longest and hottest setting. And then onto my stove. Oh, like I said, this was a lot, but these were all things that were in desperate need of getting cleaned. My stove wasn't horrible. I do try and keep up with my stove. This is definitely one of those projects that I would rather do it more often and it not be terrible than do it once or twice a year. And it takes me all day and just nonstop scrubbing to get it done. So when it comes to the racks, super easy. I put them in a black garbage bag, sprayed it down with some oven cleaner, and I set this to the side. Just put it aside, let it do its work. And then in the oven, I did the night before run the self-cleaning option. That way it really just baked off any of the bigger particles. That way I could just vacuum that out. And then I'm going to spray it all down. And I let this spray sit on the inside for about an hour. I just went and did other stuff. If it was cleaning other parts of the kitchen, getting other stuff done around the house, but I really wanted to let this sit and let the product do its work. So often we try to clean things and we spray it and then we just feel like it should just wipe clean right away. And I'm telling you, you are giving yourself more work. Spray your product, let it sit, and come back later, and it will save you so much time. You will end up saving time by giving the product time to work than just trying to muscle it and scrub it down without giving it a proper, time to do what it's supposed to. And often on the back of your cleaning supplies, it'll tell you exactly how long it should sit before you wipe it or rinse it.
Feels like the first time. Feels like I've never been in love before. You got me falling. Oh, so deep. Oh, so deep. You're not a bad boy. And that's the problem, 'cause I'm
And if you have a glass stovetop, highly recommend using oven cleaner on it. This is how I keep my glass stovetop clean, is with oven cleaner. Now, on just a normal basis, yeah, I'll just use a multi-purpose spray and clean it. But if I get a really bad burn, or I never know why, but whenever water overflows on my stove when I'm boiling water, that always makes the hardest thing to clean up off of it. But oven cleaner works so well, and it just takes away any scrubbing that you have to do. So spray your oven cleaner once again, let it sit, and I am going in once again with my itty bitty little crack crevice cleaner. People ask me where I got this, and honestly, I do not remember. I think it was Temu, or it might have been the dollar store, but I have no idea. It's one of those things that I've had it long enough that I just don't remember where I got it from. But I do highly recommend one of these itty bitty little crack crevice tools, because you'll find so many areas of your house that you need something like this to actually get it clean, and it works so well. The dishwasher, the different areas around your faucets that the bigger sponges won't get in there, all of those little areas. But once I let the oven cleaner, it doesn't need to sit long. It does depend on how dirty your stove is. If your oven or your stove is really, really bad, you may have to do this in layers. You may have to spray it, scrub it, wipe it off, and spray it again and let it sit again. But just make sure you always come back and thoroughly clean off the product. So I usually come in a couple times with a clean microfiber cloth with just water on it, wipe it down, dry it, wipe it down, dry it, because otherwise you'll get like a white film. This also goes for the inside of your oven. I always hear people say that they have like a white film in their oven after cleaning it, and that just means you need to wipe it down and rinse out the product better, and just you have to keep going at it. It can be tedious and honestly a pain in the butt. Also, these sides, I'm always surprised at how dirty they are. When I pull out my stove, I usually clean here, but it is an area that I don't usually get into, but so much food and residue gets in here. So I did not want to pull out my stove today. That'll be on another day that I need to pull out my stove, pull out my refrigerator, and clean the sides and behind those. Today I was mainly focusing on the inside of all of these appliances.
Can't wait forever for you to take your time. I can't afford to take it slow tonight or to talk about the weather. Let's do this our first kiss.
I took the chance, I lost it all. This is how to remove a bearing wall. Is there a way to get to you? There's so many things that I'm willing to do. I lost the count.
Now, another thing you can do, depending on how dirty your stove is, you can take your stove door off. I do that every once in a while. I don't do it every time I clean it. It honestly depends on how bad it is and how thoroughly I plan on cleaning it. On this day, I left it on. Taking it off is fairly easy. There's just these like clips on the side, but putting it on, I always have a hard time lining it up. Not because it's difficult to line it up, but because it's heavy. So getting it lined up with it being heavy is just difficult. And for the grates, I just took them into the bathroom and rinsed them off. After sitting in that bag for, at this point, it was probably closer to 2 hours, they just pretty much rinse clean. You may have to get in there with a bristle pad or something and scrub it depending on how yours are. But for me, I was able to just rinse it off and let it go. And then for finishing touches, we're just going to clean out the outside of our appliances. I always like to go in with a multi-purpose cleaner first. Get all of those greasy fingerprints off, the dirt buildup. If you have animals, you might have dog slobber on yours. You see Bailey was in the background. Yes, we have a St. Bernard. He slobbers sometimes. It gets on things. That's just life. And then I go in with some sort of polish. If that's a stainless steel polish cleaner, I never use stainless steel cleaners to strictly clean my appliances. I find that they never do as well at actually cleaning them. They do a good polish, but not a good actual clean. So I like using two products, a multi-purpose spray and then something to polish it. And it doesn't always have to be specifically a stainless steel. You just want something. If it's a baby oil, or in this case, I'm using Orange Glow. I love the smell of it and it always gives a really good look. Biggest thing is don't over spray it. And then I like to use a glass polishing cloth to buff it in and really buff it in. That way you don't have any of the streaks or anything like that. And it's always so pretty. It doesn't last long. The kids end up getting their hands on it and everything. But for this little bit of time, it always looks so much nicer. And it does help protect your appliances by doing these cleanings. It's not just a vanity thing. If you have, let's say, pasta sauce that had overflowed and dripped off of a plate onto the dishwasher or whatever, those are all things that can corrode your appliances. So keeping them clean, yes, it looks nice, but it is also going to help with the longevity of your appliances. If you've ever had an appliance that starts getting those little rust pits in them, it's usually because of not proper maintenance on them. So I know these things can be like, feel like you're doing them over and over again and it's never ending, but it's so much more than just about having a pretty house. It's also about saving you money in the long run. These little projects every once in a while will save you down the road thousands of dollars by maintaining the things you already own and not having to buy new.
Yeah. Huh. I am not the victim of this love affair. You can make me go away. And I don't really care if it's good and fair. I just wanna love you, babe. You got me around your finger. Got me in a twisted state of life, but I refuse to see it. Yeah, you can turn me upside down, turn my heart inside out, but I can never.
So one thing I almost always do when I clean the floors in my kitchen is I will either throw my rug on just like the counter or the chairs on the counters, and I always get comments about this, and I understand the concern about it. I guess for me, it's just always been the way I did it, and I don't mind re-wiping off the counters. I wipe the counters first just so if there's any crumbs or anything on the counters, they fall on the floor before cleaning the floor, which, yes, I know some people also dislike wiping crumbs on the floor. That's just the way I do it. But then after I'm done doing the floors, I always re-wipe down my counters. I've just always done it this way. I find it, I don't know, I think it's just habit. I don't know if it's truly easier or if it's just the way I've always done it. It's the way my mom did it. It's the way I do it. And I've been trying to consciously think about it. You can see I put my rug in the dining room when I did this today because someone had mentioned that. So I do try and like consciously think of it, but it's such a habit that often it's almost like robot mode. I just do it that way. So I always do it that way. But I do re-wipe my counters when I am done. But I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you are new here, I would love if you would subscribe and join me here. I do cleaning videos every single week. Sometimes they're at my house. Sometimes they're one of my helping hand videos, which is actually coming up Friday. We have a huge decluttering video where I was helping a local mommy out for free with her kids' toy room, and that's coming up Friday. So you do not want to miss that. But also make sure you like, comment, share this video with a friend. All of those things really do help me out. And I will see you guys Friday. Enjoy your day. Bye.